Well, yesterday was the day after all. We finally saw Payday 3 gameplay, and much sooner than I was beginning to expect, which is good. And also, I can kind of get a bit of the marketing strategy now, even though I still think they should have replied to those leaks, even with a tweet to acknowledge them, my personal opinion. It makes more sense. They were waiting for the Xbox showcase so they can announce right there and then. It was day one Game Pass. That's something that is very, very surprising and is kind of an issue like a point I want to focus on in its own video. Because for the sake of the console heisters, it's a big bit of evidence that Overkill are trying to support the console players a little bit more, because for half of them now, they won't even have to pay to get the base game if they got Game Pass. That's a big win. That's a very, very big win. But in this video, I want to talk about everything that I like and some things that I'm not as big a fan of based on the Payday 3 reveal and everything that's happened in the last 24 hours or so. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about the trailer, the outside information, the additions, all sorts of stuff. A lot I want to talk about in this video. And also, I want to know your comments down below, what you think of the Payday 3 trailer, and also if by the end of this video you're more excited, less excited, whatever. Going to be interested to see what people think as we go through the course of this video. But let's start off by talking about the trailer. So last night I put out my reaction to it alongside Mario and Topper, and I know that both of us had differing opinions. I know Mario kind of had me thinking a little bit that it wasn't quite as good last night. In fairness, I feel like Mario's perspective is the perspective of a lot of creators right now. Payday 2's update 237 has left the game in a broken state. I mentioned that last week, and Starbreeze have not done anything to address the main issue of matchmaking. They fixed the side jobs in a hotfix. They didn't really make much of a fuss over when they didn't announce it, really. It just got fixed. So good. But they haven't made any kind of apology for putting out that big community post saying everything will be perfect when it absolutely wasn't. They haven't made any action plan as to when to kind of revert the update or just fix the matchmaking. So because of that, it is hard for some creators, like Mario, to get invested in Payday 3. So for anyone in the comments that was saying he was a bit harsh, please do not be like that, because there are extraneous circumstances right now, extenuous circumstances, I can't even say the word, that do impact that right now. But separating that from the actual trailer that we got yesterday, which is why I've slept on it to give some thoughts on it, I think that the trailer is absolutely brilliant. I think it looks quite a lot like Payday 2's gameplay, which is what a lot of people want, but it does feel maybe a bit more mobile. There's vaulting over obstacles, there's also sliding, quite a bit of sliding going on there, and it just looks quite fluid. I'm really liking the look of it. There are several shots in that trailer that I am a very big fan of. I think there's some really good bits of, like, especially shooting through the corridor with the cops with the suppressed pistol, the explosion launching the cops at you. Also just some of the battles on, like, staircases and walls, cloakers jumping off walls to leap at you. There's some really good stuff in that trailer to pick out on, and some really interesting features that I personally really, really like. And as an early gameplay trailer, I'm a big fan. I really, really am. I think it's brilliant. Also confirms the leaks were true about the release date, 21st of September, 2023. And it also validates the guy underneath that leak who said it was actually the 18th, because some of the additions to the game do give you 3 days early access. So it all makes sense now to me. But I do also just want to talk briefly about the graphics, because that was a bit of a sticking point in the comments last night. I know Mario in particular was not impressed with the graphics, but first off, as I've said, there is the sour taste in Payday 2, so getting excited for Payday 3 is difficult right now. But the big thing is stream quality. That Xbox showcase yesterday, for as good as it was, the amount of games it showed, the stream quality was ass. And ass is putting it lightly, to be honest with you. It was terrible stream quality. Even the rendered version afterwards that was supposedly 4K was not 4K. It just wasn't. It looked really, really bad compared to that. So I think that's down to the quality of the reveal event. I think if we get some more trailers down the line that aren't live streamed, they're just straight up put up in native 4K, they will look really good, because the screenshots on Steam/Xbox/wherever look much clearer. Just slipping this in while I'm editing, Overkill have just published their version of the trailer. It's got Dallas swearing in it, must have been cut out for the Xbox showcase, but the graphics are infinitely better. So for anyone who was concerned about the graphics, I really would not worry. The trailer that Overkill have just put up makes it look much better and is more in line with the screenshots that we saw on the stores. They don't look like GTA 6 level or Call of Duty cutscene level, but I never expected them to, and I'm sure most of you didn't either. Payday 3, from its prices alone, is clearly not trying to market itself as a AAA game off the bat, so I don't really expect AAA level graphics. I think it looks as good as Payday 2's, maybe a little bit more refined, which is what I wanted. I wanted it to look a little bit better, but I wasn't expecting leaps and bounds above. So personally, graphic-wise, I want to see more to clarify my point, but I think they're fine. I really do, personally. What I have a little bit more of confusion with, though, are the amount of additions available for the game, and this is what I want to break down next, because some people have seen the 3-column chart, but not everyone's seen the 5-column chart. So I'm going to put it up on screen now and talk about it a little bit. If I'm doing anything like my video I was here, I might just put it like in the corner next to me, right here. Ta-da! So we got the Standard Edition, the Silver Edition, the Gold Edition, the Day 1 Edition, and the Collector's Edition. 5 different editions. But I will say right off the bat, Standard and Day 1 are pretty much the same thing, because one's digital, one's physical. So technically 4 versions. Standard Edition is $40, Silver is $70, Gold is $90, Collector's Edition $130. So obviously pounds, that's slightly different. It's like 35, 55, 75, and 120, I believe, are the 4 price marks for the UK. And then obviously regional prices will vary from there. But I want to just break down a few different things here. You can see a lot of the unique things. I'm not going to break down every single thing. There are special bonuses that you get for getting the silver edition or the gold edition or the collector's edition. The collector's edition in particular, I'm going to break down a specific image for that in a minute showing what's in it. But the only couple of things I want to point out here are, first off, they have confirmed season passes. So just to kind of remove that image for a second, talk about season passes, people are getting a bit confused on Twitter and in my YouTube comment section at the difference between a season pass and a battle pass. So let me just clarify right now in case people don't know. Season passes are more of an old style of DLC where you would pay a price up front and all the DLC that's included within that, whenever it was going to release, would be given to you as it comes out because you paid that price tag. Nothing extra, you just get it when it comes out because you bought the season pass. Job done. No time limited thing, no fear of missing out, no nothing. Battle passes, that's heavy fear of missing out because you get a period of a month, 2 months, 3 months, and you buy the pass, you level it up by playing, and if you don't get all the levels, once that season's gone, that battle pass is gone, you never get that stuff again. Occasionally, games have brought it back like Red Dead Redemption 2 when the online version was dying, they recycled passes, but that is more of an outlier rather than anything else, so I would say once it's gone realistically. So, season passes will always guarantee what's in them. Battle passes, if you don't play, you don't get the stuff regardless of what you paid for. So you gotta understand there's a big difference there, and season passes are much better. Going back to the image though, I'm not personally the biggest fan of there being 2 different season passes. This is a bit of a nitpick, I'll be honest with you, but I personally feel like if you're gonna do a season pass, it should just be you buy it or you don't. You either pay it for 6 months or for 1 year with this, and I'm just like, do we need that much? Maybe the silver edition is their way of trying to shoot for a AAA price tag because maybe what's at the game in base isn't enough to justify that price tag, but with the silver edition included, it will be. If that's the case, fair enough, you know, that's not exactly some big evil marketing strategy or something that I particularly disapprove of. I just feel like maybe they could have streamlined it a little bit more, but that is just me personally, and I know not everyone cares about that, so whatever, potato, potato. But the thing that concerns me there, obviously, is we still have the microtransaction leaks. They've not been mentioned by Starbreeze, they've not been referenced, responded to, as expected, I mean, at this point. But knowing there's going to be season passes, and also Payday credits in the form of microtransactions, until they clarify that, is still a big concern for me personally. And right now it's where my biggest worry comes in with the game, because while the gameplay looks good, while I'm excited for the game, until they clear up some of the stuff around this, I'm going to be a little bit hesitant, so I do want more information there eventually. We will also look at the collector's edition in just a second, but I just want to point out something that I find a bit strange. The silver and gold editions both give you 3 days early access, but the collector's edition doesn't. It costs $40 more than the next highest edition, and yet you don't get one of the perks that other edition has. Very, very strange. I know it's a physical edition, so there's obviously shipping times and stuff, but they could time it so that people get the game at approximately the 18th of September. There is a way you could do that with shipping. I mean, heck, I pre-ordered games before and they've turned up early accidentally, so there's ways you could do it intentionally. I'm sure that would be a thing they could do. Or even just give people a game code. You could send them the base game as an empty box like a steelbook. I mean, some games have done that recently. People don't necessarily approve of it, but I mean, you could do it that way, give them 3 days early access as long as you clarify, so I don't know, that's a bit strange. But speaking of the collector's edition, let's just look at what's inside it, because for the $130/£120 price tag, you get the collector's mask, which is available physically as a mask on a stand, and also in-game, only via this version, so you get that mask in-game as well. You get a custom deck of cards, stickers, membership letter to the Collector's Club, base game, gold season pass, so 1 year, pre-order bonus, and additional digital bonus content. For me personally, the mask, I would have liked a more iconic mask. If it were me personally, I would have liked a golden Dallas mask. That would have looked much cooler. Maybe the mask holds some kind of more narrative weight that we don't know about yet. They are noting that the whole point of the game is to strike back against the person bringing them out of retirement, so could be there's more significance to it that we don't know of yet, so we'll hold off on that and just see where it goes. But the deck of cards is my personal favourite bit there. I really like those. They're very, very cool. But just to clarify also for the Season Pass, going back to the other image for just a brief second, the Season Pass for 6 months contains 2 new heists, tailor packs, and weapon packs, whereas the Gold Season Pass, that's with the Collector's Edition and the Gold Edition, is for 1 year with 4 new heists, tailor packs, and weapon packs. Only slight thing there is wording. I'm not sure if they mean 2/4 of each thing, or 2 or 4 of the heists, and an undisclosed number of tailor packs and weapon packs. It could be there's 2 heists in the 6 months, but 3 tailor packs and 4 weapon packs. Dunno. Could do with a bit of clarification there if at all possible. I'm assuming it's 2 of everything for 6 months, 4 of everything for 1 year, but I just would like a clarification there to be doubly sure. So that's my thoughts on the additions. I feel like there might be a couple too many, but overall, There's a few different ways to get in, and I like that, you know, if you don't really know how you feel about the game yet, or you're more apprehensive, you can buy in at a lower edition, and there's obviously a pretty good likelihood that you'll be able to upgrade to any other edition at any point. It depends on how much they offer after launch. Some games will offer, like, pre-order bonuses or certain deluxe content separately afterwards. Some games don't. I, for one, am personally very annoyed. The Sonic Frontiers never let me buy a Deluxe Edition upgrade, so I'm a bit salty about that. So I don't know how Starbreeze will handle this, but if they allow you to buy every single upgrade separately, like silver or gold, at any separate point, it's going to work very well. And even if there are a lot of editions, if you can bounce easily between them, that's a very good execution. So while I have a couple of concerns, especially from the overall monetization with microtransactions still looming in the background, overall I don't think it's too bad. I think it's fairly well handled, although I have a couple of issues with how some of the things are awarded for bonuses, but that's just me personally. But we talked about the trailer, we've talked about the additions, we've talked about the graphics. The only other thing I want to address towards the end of this now is something I'm a bit concerned about by the actual characters in-game. So in the trailer, we can see for a couple of frames that Wolf no longer has the same face as Ulf Anderson. That I expected. Wolf has not been played by Ulf since 2015. That's why Wolf's voice lines have always been a bit of a botched mess since then. I expected with the recast and a new voice actor, they'd change the face anyway. What worries me a little bit is that Dallas's face has also changed, and if comments from Eric Etabari, the face of Dallas, on social media are anything to go by, it seems like they're trying to move away from the faces of the actors in the game previously and in the live action stuff. There's not too much information surrounding that yet from Starbreeze to comment, and we also haven't seen Chain's or Hoxton's faces yet, so I'm going to be very careful here in how much I say, because I don't want to jump to conclusions and be completely wrong. I guess we'll find out more soon. But overall, genuinely, I am tentatively excited for Payday 3. That's my thoughts on the package as a whole. The trailer is brilliant. I still worry about the monetization stuff. The face changing seems a little bit odd, but I guess we'll find out more soon. If I was to give my excitement on a scale of 1 to 10, last night I said 6. Having slept on it now, I'd probably up it to a 7, but I just need that bit more information, that bit more gameplay, and that bit more kind of perspective as to what's going on, just to see what's happening in the game, because I also want to know how many heists are going to be offered in the standard edition. As I've said, Silver seems like they might be shooting for the AAA price tag by giving extra DLC later to make it up to that mark, but I don't know how much is in the base game to begin with. If there's tons in the base game, then maybe it'll be absolutely fine regardless which version you buy, but we don't know for sure, so I'm hoping we get more information down the line to clarify it. And I'm sure now the marketing is probably kicked off with this trailer, we'll get that information. It's a question more of when and not if. So, as always, you know the drill by now. I will report any and all news we get for Payday 3 on PC and consoles, and anything extra for Payday 2 still to come. I mean, the next heist, the final heist of the Texas Heat campaign, is due to release next week currently. Don't know if that's still going to happen with all the stuff going on with Update 237, so we shall see. But I do want to do a video sooner or later talking about why the console versions of Payday 3 might finally get it right. I think that'll probably be my next focus, because I want to do a video focused on the console audience. You guys are the ones that gave me this platform to begin with, and as I've said previous times on the record multiple times, if I could still be making content just on consoles for Payday 2, I'd have been doing it this whole time. I do not like that I was basically pushed to move to PC because I didn't have a choice, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and I'm sure a lot of you will respect me and at least understand my logic there. So knowing that it's day one Game Pass means even if Overkill don't give me a review code, I still get to play the base game for nothing, so that's great. I'm very excited about that. But if anyone's wondering at all where my stance is onto what platform I'll be playing on, well, I'll probably get it on a couple of platforms. My main platform is going to be Xbox. Fact. That's it. So cool. Hopefully that clarifies a few things for you. Overall, having actually talked about it a little bit, I was a bit more concerned about a few things last night, especially after the reaction you've seen in the video there. That was kind of a bit, but I feel like we were kind of in a zone because we were still worried about Payday 2 stuff, and I still am, but I'm trying to look at this separately in the hopes that the Payday 2 stuff is fixed, because if it isn't, that does change things, and we'll talk about that later if that's the case. But right now, as a whole, I'm excited. And that's good. I was hoping the reveal would get me excited, and I am looking forward to seeing what they're cooking here. So I'm looking forward to finding out more information. Let me know what you all think in the comment section down below about the stuff going on. While there are concerns, as I've said, do you think that Payday 3 is still going to be really good? You're still really excited for it? Are your concerns overshadowing your excitement? Tell me everything in the comment section down below. I've been trying to respond to as many comments as I possibly can in the last week, because there's been a lot of them. So thank you to anyone who's liked, subscribed, commented over the last few days / week. It truly means the world to me. I'm so grateful for it. So thank you all for watching. I will see you all very soon. Until then, look after yourselves, stay safe, and take it easy.